Dear finance professionals and students, welcome to podcast of FCA Deepak Rao, a practicing chartered accountant. Weekly digest for week 2 of December 2025. Warren Buffett and Michael Burry are taking opposing stances on the AI boom, highlighting investor uncertainty. Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway has added a major stake in Alphabet, signaling confidence in the AI-driven growth, while Burry shorts Palantir and Nvidia, criticizing big tech accounting practices. Their contrasting positions coincide with transitions in their careers and growing debate over whether AI hype is justified or a bubble. The Multiplex Association of India is worried about Netflix buying Warner Brothers Discovery. They fear this deal will hurt movie theaters. Indian cinemas need many films to survive. A streaming giant buying a studio that favors online releases poses a threat. This could mean fewer movies for theaters and shorter release times. The association will raise these concerns with regulators. Patanjali Group, led by Baba Ramdev, has inked a significant MOU with the Russian government, paving the way for its expansion into the country. This collaboration aims to foster health and wellness initiatives, including yoga and Ayurveda promotion alongside cultural exchange. Russia is envisioned as a crucial gateway for Patanjali's global wellness mission. Delivery, an integrated logistics services provider, today announced that it has carried out a successful trial of its autonomous VTOL or vertical takeoff and landing logistics drone in Deoria, Uttar Pradesh, as part of efforts to assess the use of aerial delivery in rural and hard-to-reach areas. The demonstration, conducted by Delivery Robotics India Private Limited, featured a drone transporting medicines over a preset 12-kilometer route. The trip, which typically takes around 40 minutes by road, was completed autonomously in about 12 minutes. Home and furnishings company Wakefit Innovations Limited has mobilized Rs 186 crore from three investors: Steadview Capital, White Oak Capital, InfoEdge, and Temasek Back Capital 2B ahead of its initial share sale opening for public subscription. With the anchor allocation completed, Wakefit is now set to launch its Rs 1,289 initial public offering, which will open for subscription on December 8th and conclude on December 10th. Deloitte will this week launch an AI-powered platform, Tax Pragya, to make tax research and insights accessible to its clients faster. Tax analysts currently have to spend hours doing research on various court judgments before giving their feedback to clients. Tax Pragya will convert that time to just a few minutes and provide solutions from Deloitte's privately curated database and not open source data. Tax Pragya will be a B2B subscription-based platform which will not replace the tax consultants but only ease the process of tax research by making it faster. Donald Trump's hinting of new tariffs on Indian rice imports has sent shock waves through Indian markets, causing rice stock prices to plummet. While the US is a small export market, the move signals potential trade friction ahead of upcoming bilateral talks. India's dominant global rice export position, however, offers resilience against such disruptions. Adani Group Chairman Gautam Adani announced that the group will invest $75 billion over 5 years in the energy transition sector, highlighting opportunities in green steel, hydrogen, and renewables. He showcased the world's largest renewable energy park under construction at Khavda, Gujarat, which will cover 520 square kilometers and generate 30 gigawatts of green energy by 2030, enough to power over 60 million Indian homes. Larsen & Toubro is consolidating its real estate operations under L&T Realty Properties. This strategic move aims to create a unified entity to leverage India's real estate growth. The company will expand its project pipeline through land acquisitions and joint developments. This consolidation will bolster L&T Realty's position as a singular brand for real estate. Centrecourt Capital on Tuesday raised Rs 410 crore for its maiden fund, surpassing its initial target and triggering a Rs 60 crore greenshoe option. The firm is looking to back companies in the intersection of sports and gaming in the Indian ecosystem. The fund is anchored by JSW Cement's Managing Director Parth Jindal and is backed by domestic institutional investors including SIDBI and SRI, as well as family offices such as Premji Invest, Sunraj Group and GMR Sports. Bengaluru-based Chirate Ventures on Monday launched Chirate Sonic Deep Tech program, a funding channel that will look to back early-stage deep tech startups. Under this program, the VC firm will invest up to $2 million across seed to Series A stage companies. The firm will look to back startups in energy and climate, quantum technologies, robotics and advanced manufacturing, space technologies, applied AI ML, defense, bio, and medtech and digital economy. The Reserve Bank of India has released the 2025 directions on NBFCs undertaking of financial services, replacing the earlier RBI Master Directions 2025. The revised framework is part of RBI's broader harmonization exercise aimed at strengthening prudential supervision, governance, and group-level risk management. The new directions will come into force from December 5, 2025. All entities falling within the scope of this framework must comply with updated norms from this date onward. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella announced a significant $17.5 billion investment in India, marking the company's largest commitment in Asia. This substantial funding aims to bolster India's digital infrastructure, enhance skills, and develop sovereign capabilities to support the nation's AI-focused future. Vietnamese conglomerate Vin Group has inked an MOU with the Telangana government to explore multi-sector investments up to $3 billion. This expansion beyond electric vehicles will encompass urban infrastructure, energy and services, positioning Telangana as a key strategic market for Vin Group's growth in India. ICAI releases exposure draft of Ind AS 119 for public comments. This standard allows the eligible subsidiaries to present the financial statements with reduced disclosures. A subsidiary company qualifies to apply Ind AS 119 if A. It does not have public accountability, and B. Its ultimate or any intermediate parent prepares consolidated financial statements available for public use that comply with Ind AS. Considering the development of IFRS 19, the Accounting Standard Board has issued an exposure draft of Ind AS 119 subsidiaries without public accountability disclosures. The exposure draft has been issued for public comments with the last date of comments as 5th March 2026. The proposed effective date of the standard is for annual reporting periods beginning on or after 1st April 2027. Bengaluru headquartered Superbrain has raised $1.2 million in a pre-seed funding round led by Kalari Capital's CXXO initiative. Superbrain helps enterprise voice AI monitor its performance, learn from its mistakes, and improve automatically. The startup will use the fresh capital to accelerate its product development, expand its engineering hiring, and deepen market validation with early enterprise customers across industries. Food and grocery delivery platform Swiggy on Tuesday launched a qualified institutional placement or QIP issue to raise rupees 10,000 crore just a year after its market debut. Based on the floor price, Swiggy's market capitalization would stand at around rupees 97,400 crore. The fresh equity issuance will lead to a 9.3% dilution on a post-money basis, though this figure could climb if discounts are applied. It may be noted that when rival Eternal, which operates Zomato and Blinkit, raised rupees 8,500 crore through a QIP last year, it had diluted just a 3.7% stake. The Finance Ministry has raised the foreign investment cap in AU Small Finance Bank to 74% from 49%, requiring prior approval for FDI. This move aims to provide ample room for foreign investment through permissible channels. Foreign portfolio investors held 34.5% of the bank shares as of September 30th. Volkswagen Group is offering early retirement to all of its 2,300 workers across its 2 factories in India, as the automaker seeks to overcome obstacles to growth in the world's 3rd largest car market. Volkswagen Group has embarked on a broader restructuring in India, where it is contesting the country's biggest import tax demand yet of $1.4 billion for allegedly evading levies. The group, which sells its Volkswagen, Skoda, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini and Bentley brands in India, has only 2% market share in India despite more than 2 decades of operations. Amazon will step up investments in India to $35 billion by 2030, an increase of about $20 billion from a previously stated commitment, as it ramps up 10-minute delivery and doubles down on other businesses. The latest investment pledge follows an announcement 2 years ago that it would plow in $15 billion by 2030. A large part of that, around $12.7 billion, was toward artificial intelligence and cloud infrastructure through Amazon Web Services. SEBI has allowed alternative investment funds or AIFs to either A. launch new schemes exclusively for accredited investors or AI, or large value funds or LWF, or B. convert existing schemes into such AI only or LWF structures. The revised framework provides regulatory relaxations to funds catering to these investor segments, acknowledging their sophistication, risk appetite, and ability to evaluate complex fund strategies. The Reserve Bank of India has issued the Rupee Interest Rate Derivative or IRD Directions 2025, providing a consolidated and updated regulatory framework governing rupee IRD markets in India. The master direction modernizes the earlier regime to reflect evolving market structures, product innovation, and wider risk hedging needs across the financial system. BYT Capital, founded by early-stage investor Amit Chand, on Thursday launched a Rs 180 crore deep tech-focused fund that is expected to be closed by Q3 2026. The fund will look to deploy capital across 18 to 20 deep tech companies with check sizes ranging from Rs 3 crore to Rs 6 crore in early-stage investments, pre-seed to Series A. Tata Steel has entered into a pact to acquire a majority stake in Odisha-based Triveni Pellets Private Limited or TPPL. The acquisition is set to bolster Tata Steel's supply chain, especially in the crucial sector of raw materials. TPPL owns 100% stake in Brahmani River Pellet Limited or BRPL, which operates a 4 million tons per annum pellet plant in Jaipur, Odisha, along with 220-kilometer slurry pipeline. Law firms are hiring more capital markets lawyers. This is driven by a rise in initial public offerings and other fundraising activities. Demand for equity offering specialists is growing as multinational companies plan to enter Indian markets. Successful listings have encouraged global groups to consider listing local operations. This trend is expected to continue. Reliance Retail aims for an initial public offering by 2028. The company is strategically expanding its store network, adding approximately 2,000 stores annually. Debt reduction is a key focus as part of balance sheet restructuring. Reliance Retail is also enhancing its presence in the quick commerce segment. This preparation aims to improve market valuations before the planned public offering. Russian diamond giant Alrosa is set to establish a polishing plant in India, marking its first international expansion. The company plans to invest $50 million, aiming to boost India's position as a global manufacturing hub. Alrosa will also launch co-branded luxury jewelry lines and implement blockchain technology for supply chains. Flipkart's quick commerce platform Flipkart Minutes has recorded 16 times growth in the second half of the year with 53 million unique transacting customers. Flipkart Minutes saw strong traction during the festive season, with demand rising nearly 10 times in the second half of the year in categories like jewelry, premium electronics, home decor, and mobiles, compared to first half of 2025. These developments come as e-commerce giants Amazon and Flipkart look to expand quick commerce offerings as incumbents rack up more funding to expand and retain their market share. The Reserve Bank of India or RBI has released a draft circular proposing enhanced disclosure requirements on transaction costs associated with foreign exchange transactions undertaken by retail users. The proposal is part of RBI's ongoing efforts to improve transparency, pricing clarity, and consumer protection in India's retail FX market. Transaction cost elements may include remittance fees, currency conversion charges, foreign exchange rate applied, margin or spread components, and any additional charges or deductions embedded in the exchange rate or settlement amount. The requirement is aimed at enabling retail users to understand the true cost of transacting rather than relying solely on headline conversion rates. India's flex workspace market is poised for significant growth, with stock projected to exceed 100 million square feet by 2027. This expansion is driven by increasing enterprise adoption, particularly from GCCs and operators focusing on advanced technology and sustainability. Bengaluru and Delhi NCR lead the market, while Tier 2 cities are emerging as new growth hubs. Walt Disney is investing $1 billion in OpenAI and will let the startup use characters from Star Wars, Pixar, and Marvel franchises in its Sora AI video generator, a crucial deal that could reshape how Hollywood makes content. The 3-year partnership announced on Thursday is a pivotal step in Hollywood's embrace of generative artificial intelligence, sidestepping the industry's concerns over the impact of AI on creative jobs and intellectual property rights. India is actively engaging with Mexico to find mutually beneficial solutions regarding Mexico's unilateral tariff hikes on certain products. While New Delhi seeks to protect its exporters' interests, both nations are also working towards finalizing terms for a free trade agreement to stabilize trade relations. Retail inflation in India has experienced a dip thanks to adjustments in GST rates, with SBI research forecasting this positive trend ahead. However, a shift in inflation is anticipated around 2025-26. In the meantime, the Reserve Bank of India is expected to keep interest rates stable. Meanwhile, Kerala remains notable for its elevated inflation rates. India has approved 100% foreign direct investment in insurance sector, a significant reform aimed at boosting capital inflows and enhancing service quality. This move is expected to intensify competition, drive innovation, and expand insurance access to millions, strengthening financial inclusion and economic growth. Swiggy, the food and grocery delivery company, allocated shares to domestic mutual funds and global investors at Rs 375 per share, a discount of 11% to its Friday's closing price of Rs 416.70 on the BSE. Global players Temasek, Vanguard, Capital Group, Nomura and Goldman Sachs also participated. This fundraise comes on the back of heightened competition in the quick commerce space, where it is fighting for market share with market leader Blinkit, Zepto and Big Basket besides Flipkart and Amazon. India's entrepreneurial landscape has hit an extraordinary milestone as the number of government-recognized startups crosses 2 lakh, with 44,000 new recognitions in 2025 alone, the largest annual surge since the Startup India initiative was launched in 2016. One of the standout features of this growth is the increasing participation of women entrepreneurs. Nearly 48% of recognized startups now have at least one woman director or partner, reflecting a significant shift toward gender diversity in India's innovation economy. Global alternative asset manager Brookfield Asset Management has announced a $1 billion investment to develop Asia's largest global capability center in Powai, Mumbai. This flagship project is set to reshape the region's commercial landscape and significantly bolster job creation and investment appeal. The proposed GCC campus will span 2 million square feet on a 6-acre site in Powai, making it the largest facility of its kind in Asia. Scheduled for completion by 2029, the facility will house the operations of a major multinational bank under a 20-year lease, marking it as one of the most ambitious long-term corporate commitments in the region. This podcast is sponsored by Sound of CA. We share because we care. Vande Mataram, Jai Hind.